Hello, and welcome to yet another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I am one of your co-hosts for today, Spec or Spectral Haunts, and I just swallowed a lot of apple juice and that tried to come back at me. But perfect timing for that to hit. But most importantly, though, I should note that like I said, I'm an FPS, and I am an FPS with a wonderful, amazing co-host who I haven't gotten to a lot of FPSs with. I think only one before, actually. But we're continuing this strong with the same duo, and this is going to be totally happy, which makes sense. This could be a totally happy, lighthearted FPS, of course, totally not sarcastic. Ignore any content warnings below, because I'm with somebody who makes me happy, who makes me fun, has good characters and good art.
Oh,
and
I should have known better. I should have known better.
And who has created such an interesting character that we are having these post-game FPSs, which, by the way, listen to Red, White, and Rose. Very good game run by the amazing DM Fletcher, who is also amazing. But in those games, we got some tasty lore about my co-host character. So tasty because, like I said, amazing co-host, amazing person at making characters. It got all of us even more invested, and so now we get to explore the consequences. Because, like I said, amazing character deserves an entire FPS, and I want more. So I'm going to be sitting here, totally not fan being, I don't know what the gender neutral term is for that, over how amazing this is and how honored I am to be doing this FPS. So, yeah.
Oh my god. And who are you playing?
I'm playing Private Investigator Grimtome. I always forget to do my character. I get so lost in the compliment sauce.
Oh, goodness gracious, Spec. I should have known better than to let you do the intro.
People are going to learn at one point. I feel like they're going to learn, but they never do, and I hope to keep it that way, because every time I get to talk about how amazing I am clicking away from the gallery. As every time I get to talk about how amazing I'm smarter than that. Every time I get to talk about how amazing my co-hosts are, which does include Avi, who is trying to yell. I can see the notifications popping up. Who's trying to yell at me? Who is also amazing and has amazing characters. And keep an eye out for them because they got some good shit coming. But I love getting about all of you and how amazing you are and how wonderful, from your characters to you yourselves to the stories you tell, the plots, games you run, the games you play in, the life you bring to these stories. Like, Toonkind exists because of the type of energy that all of you bring.
I don't even know who you're talking about anymore.
All of you. I'm talking about all of you.
Okay.
We're talking about all of you. I'm talking about you in the audience right now.
We gotta
technically, it's not the AI curse because the recording has started. So take that, bitches. I'm affectionate. The FPS has started according to... No, the AI curse is we don't start recording, so shush. Anyways.
I'm Oatmeal, and this is Spec, who is wonderful.
As I was saying...
And
I was saying, I love you all.
Oh my god. And I will be playing the Professor. Forgive me, I do have a cold. But I will be playing the Professor, a time-traveling space alien who had a pretty awful time during the events of Red, White, and Rose.
Red, White, and Rose, also known as Professor's No Good, Very Bad, Terrible.
Yup.
Or 2 days, actually. He didn't even get... It wasn't even limited to 1 day, poor guy.
Yeah. So, Tome.
Yes, now that we can get back to the actual... take that, gallery. I have 2 minutes. Haha. So take that. Sorry, I have to, like... I'm sorry, I looked down and I saw something. It turns out I spilt chocolate on my jeans.
Oh, no.
And, like, it just really caught me off guard because I looked down and I was like, what's this? I was like, what's this stain? Is this chips? No, it's chocolate. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying before... Audience, forgive me. I am completely and totally serious for this totally serious FPS, which, in all seriousness, do mind content warnings. But yes, Tome. Do you want to give the information on where the professor is? Because we did establish that before we started recording.
Yes, that's right. So, it's Professor basically went to Valestown and sort of parked the ellipsis on the street that the Leighton house is on, just so he could be sort of close by to Camille and Azumi, because Azumi was kind of hanging out with him. Hello, other people.
Yeah, a lot of people showed up.
Azumi was sort of hanging out with him, but like, you know, he's also got his little bro, so Professor, you know, make it easy for him, just is nearby. So it's been a couple days, and he's kept the ellipsis there. He's had time to chill out. He's been checked out by Crystal, who offered to check out everybody's bite wounds. Well, not that everybody got bit, but everybody who did get bit.
Not you getting bit.
Tome,
I'm sorry.
who made it out unscathed.
Tome didn't
Physically unscathed.
Oh, totally. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, but yeah, Professor's been there a few days, and yeah, just in the ellipsis, and what has Tome done since the game?
Well, since the game, Tome had a crisis. No one's surprised. I'm not going to act like this is a new thing. No one's surprised here. Okay, let's be honest. If Tome has not had a crisis after any major plot point, people will think that he's been replaced by the Fae or something.
He has to have at least a little bit of a crisis.
That sounds like a good game, actually. Taking note of that for later, actually. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm sorry, audience member. I'm semi picking on a specific audience member, actually. But no, he had a crisis. But it's fine now. It's fine now. Can the audience stop giving me narrow eye? It was actually more of a joke than anything. Calm down. He's fine now because after his crisis, he had a talk with Jubilee, who came and visited him and was like, "Hey, Dad, are you okay? You don't look okay. You look like me, and that's a really low bar to hit." And they had a lot of talking, and Tomachi came out. Tomachi came out with a pretty stable mental health. No, he's still in the closet gallery. I'm sorry. Like I said, I try to warn you. Oatmeal, I get so bullshit during high FPS.
It's all good, buddy.
But you know, he came out with a mostly stable mental health and kind of came to terms with the fact that he almost was dealt the killing blow to someone. I'm gonna be honest, the fact that Azumi dealt it kind of possibly saved Tome's mental health completely. Azumi for the win. But it's still having the first time you fight someone and having them die does still leave an impact. So he came to terms with that, and he came to terms with there's a lot of things complicated. And while he has proven multiple times he doesn't view other people's lives as black and white, he got talked into not viewing his own life as very black and white. And it really got him to chill. Also, he got a design change. He looks old now, older. I feel like that, but that's a lot of lore coming to terms though. But that's mostly because he had a rating change, which he also had a crisis over. He had a lot of crises, I'm realizing in post actually. But anyways, he's actually doing fine for once. The member of this FPS who's closer to dying mentally isn't Tome, because Tome has heard about the professor holed up in his little ellipsis, mostly from Jubilee, who complained a lot about not being allowed in the ellipsis, and has decided, you know what? I'm feeling mentally stable. I'm going to do old man to old man communication. And also warn him about Jubilee. All right.
Very
And so
good.
he's made ellipsis,
Uh-huh.
standing before it. And his sons have been a horrible influence by this. I mean, not a horrible influence. Because when he goes to knock, it has like a little rhythm to it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, Tome does not know how old the professor is, but he thinks he's old. He thinks he's about his age, which is really funny to me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks the professor's his age.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I say as a rule of thumb, generally, uh, to especially like Toonie Toons, he might come across as 50 to real kind. He looks like he's in his 40s, and it basically spans across that as far as looks go.
Yeah,
Toons
so
is just
Tome
like,
voice,
he has wrinkles, of course he's old, you know?
yeah. Tome voice, look at him. He's my age. What do you mean he's older than me? Of course he is, like 10 years. Listen, Tome doesn't know that people over 100 years walk Einquell, okay? I need you to understand it.
Yeah. He doesn't, no, he probably, look,
We're not gonna break that to him yet.
he probably doesn't know, he probably hasn't even met any elves that old. Because
Yeah,
that's
no,
like the end of their range.
yeah, no, Tome, yeah,
Nobody's
no,
never met an
okay,
elf and it
listen.
shows.
I am so sorry, Gallery. I need you to know this man has lived his entire life in Inkwell, and while Inkwell has a mix of real kind and tunes, it is mostly tunes. And
Mm-hmm,
considering the type
mm-hmm,
of detective he is, he kind of ends up at tune murders. He
mm-hmm.
doesn't meet a lot of real kind.
That's fair.
He does not know
He
about
does.
the alien part either.
There's a lot
Tome
that Tome
knows
doesn't
shit
know.
about the.
He
Tome knows,
just found out about the ellipsis.
like this
He
is his,
knows it's a teleporting machine. That's it. He knows
does not.
he knows it's slightly bigger on the inside, but not how
Yeah,
much.
I need you to understand, Tome is probably the most oblivious person when it comes to the professor right now, and I think that's hilarious, actually.
Yes, yes.
Tome voice, why do you want to steal from this man? All he has is a control console. There's nothing even in there.
Oh man.
Listen, you gotta have a little humor in these trying times. Sometimes humor is just Tome not knowing. It's just it's situational irony, okay? Okay, but yes, no, Professor gets a little chit 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 on the door with the
Mm-hmm.
back of his hand.
Yeah.
And then he just comfortably rests his hands in his pockets, which I keep referencing his pockets in his coat. You can't see them in any art, they just are there.
Mm-hmm.
They logically appear. Yes, it was shaving a haircut. Yay! I love it when people get that reference.
Yeah.
Or 2 bits. Yeah, 2 bits.
E. Well, there's a little pause, and then, the professor, opens the door, and he opens it kind of fast, and he's not looking at your face, and he just goes like, Jubilee, and then he opens his eyes, and he goes, oh, Tome.
Well, I see Jubilee has already been trying to pay you a visit. I guess my warning's a little late then.
Oh, yes.
Has he managed to steal anything yet?
No, I keep turning him away.
Okay, good. Keep doing that.
And Professor is, he seemed very, like, surprised and pleased, to see Tome, but now his bright grin has sort of left his eyes, and he seems to be trying to read Tome, very obviously. In fact, I should probably roll an insight.
I'll roll deception then. Correction, Tome's not lying. I don't even know read a roll of deception. I'll just see
Oh,
what you. But I will roll an insight on Tome's end because he wants to read Professor as well.
oh, by all means. Do. My modifier is not very good, but that was a good roll. Alright, dirty 20. Alright, so those were both actually really good.
Yeah, they both are reading the other pretty well actually.
Mm-hmm.
So for the professor, what he gets from Tome is a little tired looking. That seems to be kind of constantly worn on him. Is this kind of look of sleep deprivation?
Mm.
He's got his shoulders a little lower, a little more worn down, but there's also a sense of more lightness to him in that he doesn't seem to be standing as stiff as he normally does,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't seem upset when he's looking at you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one thing I was definitely
Yes, no, Tome does not
looking
look
out
upset
for.
at you.
Mm-hmm.
You're safe.
Yeah. Professor, for Tome, let's see. Uh, he's, um, he's also, um, a little tired looking, which he doesn't usually. That's a little off for him. Um, uh, and just not quite as bright as usual. And seemed like for a moment, because you rolled pretty high, uh, like, uh, worried about like what he might read from Tome, but uh, seems to um, uh, seems to be satisfied that it's not what he was worried about. Um, and uh, yeah, just kind of like it's it's been a rough few days.
Yeah, it's definitely been a few days.
Mm-hmm. And I know that wasn't a perception, but like I'll toss it in. He's got his scarf, but it's like worn a lot loose. It's almost more like draped over him. And uh, his like collar's undone, and you can absolutely just see that bite wound there.
Tone glances at it for a moment, just really long enough to see that it's been tended to by Crystal
Mm-hmm.
before he kind of averts his gaze because the Professor is not someone he really wants to remind of that, even though he's quite sure Professor has not forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
so it's just like a little glance over and then glance back at Professor.
Mm-hmm. Um, would you like to come in?
Uh, yes, please. Actually, thank you for inviting him because Tome is too awkward to ask.
um.
He only ever asks if he's on a case. It feels weird for him to ask. He's like,
Aw.
I feel like I'm interrogating this man.
God. Um.
Tome ironically works on vampire. All right. He has to be invited in. He has really fast reflexes. He has dark vision. Wait, he doesn't have dark vision.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. Does reflect to disappear into shadows.
Mm-hmm.
He is pure white. Despite the fact that if he was real kind, he shouldn't be white.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make that joke every once in a while because of that constant miscommunication. Um, Shout out to Tangle Towers, like my absolute beloved. Though, for all the characters not having any sort of race because they're all such white, that you can that none of them have a race. That's not a race. They are wide enough that it's not a race anymore. It's just emptiness. It's the void. They are the void. And so Tome is the void by distinct as an XP. Yes, so Tome is actually a vampire, Professor. Heartbreaking news, really, actually. Um, this is why he defended Percy, actually. I can't, man, I've been hiding this character secret for so long, and here it is out and in the middle of this FPS. What a shame. Anyways.
Oh man. Well,
Here you go.
Professor leads him in, and very casually just hits a switch on the console, and the outer door closes, and the inner door, which kinda had just looked like two panels of the wall that might have been a cabinet, opens and there's a hallway.
Was there this hallway?
What?
Was there this hallway last time Tome was in the ellipsis?
It was there, but the doors were closed and he did not see it. He just saw the console room. Professor has opened the doors, and there's a hallway.
There's more.
There's
more.
Yes.
Tome opens his mouth, and I'm not going to be breaking real that he is confused and shocked.
Professor just sort of like looks back at him and raises an eyebrow and looks amused, and then leads the way down the hallway. Come on.
This is like, okay, yeah, good idea. And just starts walking. Tomboys, this is a conversation for after I've had a few more cups of coffee in my system. Yeah, so Tome's gonna follow. His little question mark is following behind him in the air as he looks around.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same sort of like wall and style, but every once in a while there's a door that does not fit the aesthetic at all. Like it looks like it belongs in a completely different building, or like if it were Toonish, it would look like it belonged in a different genre, you know?
Tome is absolutely fascinated by this. I'm so sorry, Professor. You probably have to remind him to keep walking, because there is at least one or two times where he just gets distracted by a door and starts studying it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a point-and-click detective. When you see something new, you're going to start touching it. It is the rules of the genre.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, he's just going to, like, shake his head and be like, no, that's the laundry room. No, that's the wardrobe.
Oh, thank you. And he'll like follow, but he'll just keep glancing back like, that is not like a laundry room.
And he'll go to one door and open it and lead you inside, and it's a kitchen. Except a very technologically advanced kitchen. Like, wow, this has got to be at least like Yiddish technology. At least. You've never seen anything as advanced as this.
You know, I feel like there is a long story behind all this, but that is a conversation that was not intended for this visit, and honestly, I don't know if I have the brain cells to comprehend it at the moment.
Well, that's all right. I didn't bring you in here to talk about my kitchen. I brought you in here so I could...
It's a lot more than the kitchen.
...serve you a drink, okay?
It's all of this. The sheer fact that it should not be...
Yes,
yes.
That does confuse people.
He's like poking the wall while you're making the drink. Like, is this real? Like, he's going to be serious in a moment once he gets back to it, but he is kind. I didn't realize you're going to take him this far into the ellipsis, and he's just handed me such blatant confusion.
That's okay. he,
So
you have a higher enough perception that there is a very faint hum, especially if you're pressing against the wall, that you can detect.
Tell me you can't. Oh, she's standing me. Two things at the same time. One, is this a really giant mimic? He's not even he doesn't even go for like the logical conclusion that's but it's one of those houses that like can be semi I cannot remember the name of them right now, can be semi-aware. No,
Mhm.
he
Oh,
has two jumps here.
genius loci.
Yeah. Yeah, genius loci. He
Mhm.
doesn't even jump to genius loci. No, he jumps to either this is a giant mimic. Um listen, I need the audience to remember who I'm playing.
Yes, yes.
He jumps to the conclusion this is either a really giant elaborate mimic,
Mm.
or B, nope, that's all he's giving me actually.
Oh no.
Um, he's just he's just handing me this as a mimic, and the only way to test it is to keep poking.
I mean, it feels like it. It feels like what you would expect that uh God, whatever the walls of his kitchen are made of. I don't know, tile, drywall, both. Probably. It feels exactly like what it looks like it is.
Okay, so it is real. Okay. And he will stop poking it and will walk back over to the kitchen counter and lean against it.
Mm-hmm. What would you like? I don't know. Tea. I have coffee, but it's not very good.
No, I'll take the coffee.
All right.
I don't care if it's shit.
He kind of like double takes.
Sorry, not used to that not being censored still.
Oh, did something change? Oh, and then I have to roll a perception. 6 plus 5 is 11. Does he notice the design change? With an 11.
For the sake of funny, we're gonna say no for now.
Yes. Okay.
And I want you in a little bit to roll again.
Yes. Okay.
We're just gonna keep doing this until it reaches at least a 15. Because I think it's
Yeah.
really funny if they get like 3/4 of the way through the combo and he goes, wait a minute. Pause everything. Something's different.
Yes, yes, I agree. Okay. Has something changed?
Just a rating change is a very Toon thing.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Just means I can curse now.
Ah. Well, that's... Well.
So, forgive me if I do have a bit of a language situation. I'm not used to having to censor myself.
No, that's quite all right. I find that teenagers have the same problem.
Hey.
Suddenly being allowed to say whatever they like.
Hey now, wait a minute.
And he's chuckling as he's heating up some water for his tea and your coffee.
See, I know this is supposed to be Angst, but Tome is handing me something that I know is going to lead into another funny.
Go ahead.
Because he's told me
we can have
we're
both.
the same age. You can't just tell. I am maybe 10 years younger than you. Stop that.
Professor, like, his eyes go like wide and he almost like spills something and he's just like, oh goodness, my dear, we are not the same age. 10
yes, I know.
years.
You're like 10 years older than me, obviously not the exact same age.
No.
I don't know your actual exact age. The chances of us being, well, I mean, I don't even know my specific age for crying out loud. The chances of us having the exact same age is statistically improbable. Do you know what I mean?
You don't know your. Oh, well, I can't judge. Neither do I.
But you're. So many question marks above Tome's head. Like, they're starting to fill up the location. You have to push them out of the way.
Oh, God, that got me.
Listen, we gotta balance it out. We're starting out strong with the fluff. Listen, Tome doesn't. Okay, I have to point out, while Tome knows a lot about Realkind, he also does not. So it is really funny considering we have a very unusual Realkind with a very unusual tune.
Yes.
So neither of them know what the other's about to pull out.
No, they can't go on what they think is the basic rules. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, because the only reason Tome doesn't know of his age is because of his own specific stuff, which most tunes are not like that. So he's like, okay, most people know. Those girls I'm so glad I have Tome's pin off for this. He would not be keeping a serious mood.
We'll get there. Oh, but Professor just sort of, like, shakes his head, like, well, never mind.
Tome continues to be oblivious, delicious, wonderful, exactly the kind of shit.
But yes, he's started his tea, and he's got some coffee started. I don't know anything about coffee, but it's really basic black coffee.
Okay.
Not even good quality. I'm sorry, Arata. This is just what he has in his thing.
I'm about to kill Professor.
Mm-hmm.
Because, fun fact, Tome has a really specific type of coffee he likes.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll never guess what it is.
It's black.
It's shitty black. Yeah, no, it's I'm sorry, audience. This has been a running gag since his first FPS that the type of coffee he drinks is specifically cheap black coffee, like the kind that you would buy like in bulk from like a grocery store, but like it's the off-brand version.
Ugh.
And like it tastes wrong every way you make it, but the more you drink it, the more it just becomes the normal, kind of like how if you drink like off-tasting water, eventually that's just what water tastes like.
Yeah, no, this is what he has. He has stuff you can get in bulk.
Yeah, so Tome's just gonna be like, oh, this is such a good coffee. I don't know what you meant.
Oh, I don't know. I don't personally like it very much. If you want it to taste like anything, you have to make it Irish. If you want, I think I might have some whiskey somewhere.
Oh, no, this is perfectly fine. This is how I normally have it.
Oh, alright.
And he takes a nice long sip.
I'll never understand it.
And it's acquired a taste for many. And it comes with the genre, too.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's very convenient price-wise. I quite like it.
Oh, yes, that's, well, yes, that's why I've got it. I stocked up... Oh, gosh. Last time I stocked up was, back in Darth. Got it from, Colonel and his lot. And, well, you know, they're...
Sorry. The audience is kidding. Keep talking over you. If you hear me dying, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, and he's got to, feed and water several 1,000 lads has got, you know, good when you can get something in bulk.
You know a colonel?
Oh, yes.
Huh. Tone voice. Everyone I know is a main character, aren't they? Okay. He doesn't say that, but he just kind of goes like that, and then just takes a little bit longer of a sip from his coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is already halfway gone.
Interesting fellow. That's actually where where I got that gum, that I gave you. The, caffeine gum.
Oh, okay. You said gum. I thought you said gun, and I was sitting here like,
No!
when did Professor give Tome a gun?
Never!
Did I black out
No!
at some point?
No! Professor would never. No.
That's why I'm
chewing gum. Chewing gum. With caffeine gum. With
I just went, yeah, gave Tome a gun. Really encouraged.
No.
I'm sitting here like, was that the first FPS? Was it like a ceremonial gun?
Oh no!
Like, I was like, or is Tome getting mixed up with someone? Because that has happened before. People have mixed up Tome with other musicians. Was like, it was just really funny, you know. Okay, well that was good gum. I have to think about considering getting some of that. It's a lot more portable, though. I have found a way to store plenty of coffee cups in my hammer space.
Mm. Oh yes, very handy hammer space. Very handy.
No, indeed. Helps me keep stock of coffee and cinnamon rolls at all times.
Hmm. Have you been all right?
I've been mostly fine, though. That reminds me why I did come here. I wanted to check on you specifically. Yes, Tome is avoiding himself. That is on purpose. But he does very casually redirect it back onto the professor.
Yeah. Professor just kind of like sheepishly looks away. Like, yeah, he knows why. Uh, well, I've, had time to collect my thoughts and, go over the events, in my head and just sort of everything out. Well, and, since I'm not, there, much easier to stay,
Process.
yes, stay calm.
Well, I'm glad that you have been taking time to think over that. I wanted to make sure you were not just suppressing and shoving that all away. I don't know you enough to know what your habits are regarding self-care like that.
Oh, I, I wouldn't say that that's, how I would go about it, but,
Oh boy.
I don't know that I have maybe the best coping mechanisms, but they're better than that.
Well, at least they haven't reached rock bottom. That's good to hear. Though you have been coping, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay. No, Tom kind of just swishes the coffee. I did want to make sure of that at least. Though you said it wasn't the best. He kind of narrows his eyes slightly. What have you been doing to cope?
Oh, well, I probably should have been resting more. I mean, real kind and blood loss, it takes a while, but, well, I was working some when I maybe shouldn't have been. It's just that it gets my mind off of things.
No, okay, now that I cannot blame you for. Okay. If it's just stuff like that, then to be honest, I really can't say anything on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And have the boys been letting you do that?
Not as much as I would otherwise. No, they've been, checking in, particularly Azumi. Um, Bless him. But,
Azumi.
no, yes.
I'm gonna roll a perception to see if Tome caught that little scene on the bus ride back.
Mm-hmm.
That was a for history, we'll say history
Mm-hmm,
for that
mm-hmm.
one. That was a 19, so Tome
Oh,
absolutely caught that.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, um, caught Professor give, Azumi a side hug and Azumi not protest.
You see a couple of like smaller question marks appear around Tome's head for a second before he kind of just flicks them away with his hand. Well, I I'm glad Azumi's keeping up with you. He is extremely effective whenever he wants to make sure someone he cares about is okay.
Yes, yes. I think it just tends to be very effective when he puts his mind to anything, really.
Oh, absolutely, for better or worse. A very stubborn
Hmm.
boy.
I think Arada's been by, also. So, yes, they've been keeping me from, doing anything, uh, rash.
Yeah, too stupid. Okay, well that's good. Oh, Abrada's been visiting. Okay.
Oh well,
So
yes.
realizing how many of his connections are connected, it's just like, wait a minute, is it all connected?
Oh yes, I've known Arada actually a fair bit longer than I knew, Azumi even.
The little question marks appear on Tome's head again. He just kind of gently knocks them back again. All right then. Didn't not expect that actually.
Hmm.
Azumi seemed much more of the type of person who would get involved in other people's business.
Hmm. Hmm. Maybe. I mean, he's a detective, but
Yes. No, though that's not really the reason I would assume that. It's more personality differences. Zarada's always struck me as very. He kind of gives away with his hand. Casual, laid back.
hmm. I don't know. I think that just makes him approachable, and he tends to meet people. It seems. Hmm.
Oh, okay, main character energy. Got it. Okay. There's like that pause before Tome says it. Okay. Makes more sense then, actually. Listen, Tome is checking on the professor, but he's also processing the fact that it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to figure out, like, how does this Zoom mean the less nosy of these two? Because you gotta think the only Tome knows of Arata is sweet little coffee boy. He doesn't know about the other
Nope.
side of Arata. He just thinks that Arata's the sweet coffee boy. He doesn't know.
Man. But, um, well, sorry about losing, my grip on myself, um, several times, but especially, um, with, uh, with Percy there.
Tome
I
is
wasn't, I, I'm not usually like that. I'm usually able to keep, a much stronger hold on, myself, my instincts, reactions, um, fears.
Tome is really quiet for a long moment as he listens to that and looks at the professor, seeming to think over his words before speaking. And he just kind of takes a slow breath and sighs as he puts the coffee cup down. Well, the fact that you apologized, that shows a lot to me. I will admit I don't have a lot of interactions with you to go based off of, but based on the others' reactions, I can believe that that was out of character for you. All that matters now is that no one was hurt, so I
Yes.
believe it's best you do not let that eat away at you.
Thank you.
And gives a little nod.
And thank you for, well, well, for keeping us, me, uh, safe as you said you would. You didn't honestly have to.
Hmm. Here's where okay, so this is supposed to be a Professor Angst FPS, but you did say something that made Tommy's in my head wince a little. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. Because I said he's fine. He kind of glances at your neck for a second before he kind of glances away. I did want you to feel safe. After all, you were just acting out of fear, and I wish I could have done more in the situation, but
Oh,
I'm
well,
glad that at least helped you stay relatively calm.
well, yes, yes. Well, I mean, the way I see it, the worst outcomes were avoided, and I'm uh, extremely grateful for that. Um, he's got a very earnest look on his face. Like he seems genuinely uh, very grateful for you for like uh, helping with that.
Tome absolutely glances back at that, and his shoulders do relax a bit, seeing that you aren't upset with him for not being doing more, and that you genuinely do believe that. And
Mm-hmm.
Tome has been learning how to love himself. It's called character growth. So Tome actually accepts that.
Oh,
Um, and he kind of sighs softly and goes, "Okay, well, still, no. Like I said, I you were just scared, and so I. It was my intention that to make sure that you would at least know that you would be safe. And like you said, all of us made it out. So, well, all of our group made it out. So
hmm.
it could have been a lot worse. So the fact that we all made it and none of our party suffered any casualties is a well, I take that as success on our end.
Yes, yes. Well, and uh, I I don't know that you're giving yourself enough credit. I was rather more difficult to deal with, I imagine, than that. Because I was not just scared, I was also. Uh. Hmm. I almost hesitate to say prejudiced, but I think that's probably the fact of
Yeah.
the matter.
No. Yes. He gives a little wince. I can't disagree with that. Though you, I will say, while you were very scared and stubborn in your ways, you were not the worst I've seen. Um, so I will say, don't, like I said, don't beat yourself too much over that entire situation. You could have handled that a lot worse than how you did. The fact that I was able to stop you shows that there was at least enough indication of what you were thinking before you did it. You could have, if you really had such ill intent, you could have been a lot sneakier about it. And, well, I wouldn't have been able to stop you. So, Like I said, do not beat yourself too much over it, because I like to think that there was a part of you at least that did not want to kill Percy in that moment.
He's like nodding along, and then I have to roll deception because how well do you hide this? Probably
Mm,
not well enough, knowing your scores. But let's see.
let's roll.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, Tome, you did not need a flex like that. Okay. I am so sorry, Professor. I really am. I need you to know that.
oh my goodness, that's already one, and I rolled high too. It's 22.
Yeah, that's the reason I said sorry.
Yes, yes. No, that's alright. I expected this. So he definitely tries to hide it, and you can tell this. But towards the end of that statement, like, uh, didn't the bit about him not actually holding intent to uh kill Percy. He does sort of wince and look away.
No. And Tome does die. I'm not saying that you had zero intent. I am quite aware that there was definitely a part of you that planned on that. What I'm trying to say is it's not a black and white situation, 100% or 0%. You would not feel bad afterwards if there was not some part of you that would have regretted Percy's death if it had happened. That's what I'm saying. To say that it's black and white, that you either want him dead or not, is to completely disregard both these your entire race's history with vampire, not to mention your own personal confliction and your own personal morals and viewpoints and the situation at hand and the differences between each vampire. It's a much too complex of a situation for me just to say you entirely wanted him dead or not. What I'm saying is that you didn't entirely want him dead, and I feel like you need to give yourself some credit for that at least.
He'd been sort of like looking at you like he's not sure if he agrees, but like you're making a very good point. Um, he just sort of like leans against the counter with his tea. Um, well, I guess.
Listen, I'm not saying that if given the chance again, you wouldn't kill him. That's not my choice to make, and it's not. I don't know you enough to know that answer. I'm just saying you're obviously beating yourself up over it now, so try and give yourself a little bit more credit.
Well, that's. Oh, it's so hard to parse it out. I'm honestly less conflicted about that part than at snapping like that. I really could have I should have communicated my misgivings in a more calm, civil manner, even if I stuck to them.
Well,
Instead, I nearly. I mean, I could have hit you. I nearly hit Airy.
you didn't hit either of us, and I will admit when someone is upset or not in their normal headspace, especially when it's something which I'm guessing you did not intend on reacting that way. It's Bill's like very obviously trying to comfort you, but he's not the best at this. It's oh, I can't deny that is something that could have happened, but it didn't, and you can't focus on the what ifs of what could have happened You need to focus on what did happen. You didn't hurt us. You snapped out of it. You came back to yourself. You put your prejudice aside long enough for the group to be able to face the actual bigger enemy and for us to get out safely.
You've
It
you've got a bit of static.
1 second, I'm lifting the mic. It's going away from my computer. Ta-da! Should be better now.
That is better. There is still very, very slight static, as far as I can hear, but it is much better.
That's just my laptop dying.
Okay.
That's just my poor laptop dying. I'm gonna back away even more from it. That should help. I've gone as far as my headphones will allow me.
Okay.
This should fix it at least some.
Yeah, yeah, this is much better.
Yes, this is the sound of computer fans going full speed ahead. The side effect of me having been doing homework before this is I still have those things pulled up. Rest in peace is my computer. Okay, it's calming down again. I can scoot closer. It comes in little waves like that. But yeah, you need to, gosh, this is not my area of expertise. What I'm trying to say is you didn't do that. You could have, but you didn't. And you were able to put your emotions aside long enough for us to actually face the real big threat. And, well, to my knowledge, Percy hasn't died, so you had enough self-control to at least respect the group's wishes at that moment afterwards. So you can play a game of what if all you want, and you can say, well, I could have done that, or I could have hurt you, or I could have done something, but you didn't. And that's what I feel like needs to be the takeaway here. You can't blame yourself for actions that that this version of you didn't do. You can't blame yourself for the actions that some other timeline's version of you may have done. This is our reality, this is our presence, and well, in this existence, you didn't do that, and I feel like you need to give yourself credit for that.
He's like following and like taking it in and nodding at some of it, but like he still seems frustrated and like he gets up from like leaning on the counter and starts to like pace a little bit like away and back, and he's just like, it's just I don't usually get anywhere near close to that, and it's I part of me thinks that the right thing would have been to go through with it still, because I mean, I told you about
Yes.
the...
Well, I can't tell you whether or not you should have done that. Okay? All I can tell you is if you had done that, it would have hurt the group a lot more than it helped us. So, whether or not you think Percy should be dead, that is something for you to decide in the future. Will I agree with it? No, but like I said, I cannot control your actions or feelings. All I can say is I am thankful for you not doing it in that moment when we needed Percy's help.
Well, I promised him that as long as he stays out of my way, we shouldn't have any problems.
And, well, honestly, that's a lot more self-control than I've seen a lot of people do. A lot of people who've suffered a lot less than what you have. It's complicated and it's messy, and it's your situation, based off what little I was able to hear from it, is full of centuries worth of suffering and pain and death, and things like that are not erased. in a single moment. They're not erased, and I can't tell you whether or not you should judge because I did not live your life. I do not have that history written into me, and I don't have those choices of my ancestors and their ancestors still living within me. But I can tell you that the decision you made in that moment and the decision you made afterwards, I personally am grateful for. Whether or not you are happy with it or thankful, I can't change. And if you continue to be unhappy with it, I'm sorry, and I won't be able to condone that action, but I will understand you have motivation behind it. However, I still want to thank you for not acting on it in those 2 moments, at least in front of Camille.
Mm.
Hi, welcome to Toontown. Toonkind. We get to talk about generational trauma.
Yeah, he just sort of like sighs, and goes like, "All right. I think you're right. I think I'd still need to sort out the other side of this, but
Yes.
um,
That's not something I expect for you to sort out quickly at all. Like I said, that's a lot of stuff you have to deal with, and
he
I'm gonna be honest, I am not the person who could give any sort of insight on that.
he just sort of grins and he's like, "Depends how quickly they come for me."
What?
Well, the oath.
Okay, you mentioned you had that oath. Are you implying that because you did not kill Percy in that moment, that there were people who are going to come for you and punish you for that?
He takes a sip and does a shrug, and he says, "Wouldn't be the first time."
Oh, wonderful. Would it be the first time? Okay, cool. Okay, shit. Okay. All right, then. It's like that. Okay.
Look,
Okay.
I've already
Okay.
been.
That
You
there's
just.
no way to start that sentence with I have already been and anything you followed up with to be okay. But continue on.
You just. I'm. You just don't know the half of it.
I'm quite sure I don't. Would you mind explaining to me actually if you do
No,
not
no, no.
mind?
You see,
Who was handing me such a concerned look for the professor? You know that gif of the man who blinks and then looks over like, wait a minute, that is just Tome right now. Like, wait a minute, hold up, actually pause, reverse, rewind this. What do you mean, Professor? My
yeah,
bad.
he goes like, he does a sort of like, circular gesture with his hand, and he's like, "Now, vampires last a very long time after they're immortal.
What?
So I've got, well, I said vampires are immortal.
Yes.
So I've got, they have to give me, some time, to, that they have to give, there's a certain amount of leeway that that they're obligated to give me, that I could theoretically, well, clean up loose ends, except that I don't really want to do that.
Wait.
Hmm?
So you're telling me if you don't go kill Percy, they're going to come for you?
Uh, any of the vampires we saw. Which,
Any of the vampires?
granted was technically,
Any?
which was granted only technically three. Only three.
Any of the vampires we
He seems
Okay,
enthused by this this loophole. Technically, we only
Professor.
saw three. that
It's
we
Professor.
killed one of.
I say this very kindly, but and my language audience, but Tome is very much not used to being filtered. And plus, for the gag, Professor Kindly, what the fuck?
Uh,
What do you? What do you? I okay now, and he kind of just puts his coffee down and just slides it away. Cause hold up, he's a little bit more serious now. Actually, he was serious before. This is a whole different level. Okay. Now I pride myself on trying not to uh I do my best to not, uh judge other groups and their choices, but I do have to kindly and not and I'm not going to even pretend to do this politely, disagree with the fact that you should be punished for not killing someone. Oath or not.
oh, tell me about it.
I mean, the mere fact that is in fact that is essentially murder in a way, the murder of you. Though we're not going to let you die. Don't worry. So, I I'm sorry. I Toby's just very obviously trying to wrap his hand around this new development and things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I.
Um,
Yes, no, that's not going to be a problem. But I am quite sure. I mean, look at Azumi. That is not going to be a problem. I'm pretty sure if anybody tried to hurt you, Azumi would make would make them suffer greatly.
Professor, like, his expression had been a little playful in a sort of dark humor sort of way. But it goes, like, quite solemn. No, I wouldn't want anybody I've met here to be exposed to those sort of people. Not even Azumi.
Oh. And his face does solemn up at that, especially at the not even Azumi. Tone voice, oh, not even Azumi. Okay. Oh. All right. Well,
Well,
I hate to break it to you, but whether or not you want anybody here exposed to them, I don't think any of us are gonna let anything happen to you. But I will admit that does complicate things slightly.
well, that's not alright. They're not going to come. Well, they shouldn't come here. They don't usually do that, but then, of course, there are the ones who do.
Yes, well, if they do try and come here, I'm quite certain that there's a good number of people who will gladly kick them away somehow. Well,
Yes, yes. There are a few people who have said as much, but mm, uh, hmm.
I'm sorry, big gallery. Oh gosh, hold up. I need to roll a D2 to see if Tome, because we know Tome has a history of incorrectly connecting dots, okay? Um, and somebody pointed out something really amazing about how they could be misinterpreted, especially with the O thing. So, Tome, do you misinterpret the professor for running from gods? No,
Oh,
okay. No, not this time. I did a yes or no, and that was
okay.
a no. So, okay, we're good this time. Um, that would have been funny though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tome's just quiet for a long time as he kind of picks at his coffee cup slightly and rubs the bridge of his nose. All right, well, I would not worry about their choices. oath or not, it's a bullshit oath, in my opinion. At least it would be it's especially a bullshit oath for the fact that you must die if you don't destroy vampires. I think that whole only one person can live kind of mindset is exactly how people in this world end up killing each other in an endless cycle. Tome, a hypocrite for that, but the professor doesn't know that. It's really
Well, I mean, I think the idea is that we're supposed to stop the spread of vampirism, and if we fail to do that, we're essentially labeled traitors, and thus well, you know what people do with traitors.
okay. So Tome handed me connecting some dots in like a loophole way. And I have to roll. I'm rolling. I'm so glad he has his intelligence modifier because that's a 15, and I like to roll on the rules of 15. But there's a moment as he says that, and then Tome kind of pauses and looks up. Wait, your oath is just to stop the spread of vampirism, correct?
No, it is, technically speaking, to destroy vampires on sight.
Oh man, I was really hoping there might be a loophole with that. Okay.
No. The loophole that I was able to find, ages ago, was that I never actually saw the vampire that I knew was in the vicinity. I knew about their presence, and I was able to leave, before we ever actually encountered each other. In fact, I'm not even sure. I don't even think it knew I was there. I count that as a success.
Alright, well, destroying... You did see them.
Yes.
Okay, then I stand by my original statement. That oath is absolutely bullshit.
I know. And I honestly...
No, I'm
shouldn't...
not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. Don't worry about that. I'm not blaming you.
I was younger and stupid and different.
That's understandable. Especially like you gave the backstory of both your cultures, and especially when you're young and stupid, and if you haven't traveled and found things out, you're more bound to make decisions like that. No, I can't blame you, especially because you do feel differently now. At least somewhat. At least enough that you don't want to kill them on sight. Or at least enough that you don't like the oath. He does hear the wince, and he's like, okay, at least enough that you question the oath. Okay, I'm working with what I have.
Yeah,
I don't agree with you completely, but that's not the debate for the hour. We're not getting into the morality of killing things that are already dead and generational trauma. That is above. I have had a rating change. Yes, I have. I am not accustomed to it enough to deal with conversations like that yet.
he puts his hands up like, okay.
That is, give me at least a week of dealing with this, and then I might be willing to discuss with you the morality of killing. Oh gosh, oh god, this is above my pay raise. Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, oh gosh, where do we even go with this? Poor Tome he just looks at his coffee. Tome voice, I'm trying to help, and now I'm just, oh, how did we get here?
It's alright, dear. It's not... like I said, they've got to give me an amount of time, and by the time that time is up, and they've got to come after me, I'll have figured something out, or I'll have... I don't know... gone into hiding? Something.
No.
What?
No. You are not hiding or running. You are not doing that to Leonardo, or Camille, or Jubilee, or Azumi. And Tome looks at you with a very serious face at that. Do you understand that?
What?
You are not going to hiding, and nor are you running. I do not care if this is upsetting for you. You are not abandoning Leonardo, Camille, Jubilee, or Azumi. Or Rada, for that fact, most likely. So
He
we will find an alternate option, but do not even suggest hiding.
he just like blinks. He is like in like uncomprehending.
You're not doing that to any of those boys, okay?
What do
If
we?
you abandon a single one of them, and he's like leaning on the counter, I don't care if it's to go into hiding. I don't care if you tell them where you're going, because I know you probably won't tell them because that's the whole point of hiding. If you do that, if you make any of these boys worry about your safety or whereabouts, I will personally find you, okay?
Oh, the what? Huh?
You said go into hiding. We're not even considering that an option, okay?
So I'm.
The boys care about you, for crying out loud, and if you go into hiding, they'll freak out. And I'm not letting that happen.
But I'm. But they know I'm a traveler. I'm not.
I don't think that's not, yes, you can be a traveler, okay? There's a difference between traveling and abandoning or going into hiding. There is a significant difference. I travel, for crying out. I don't live near any of the boys, but I still do traveling. I don't disappear on them. That's a difference. And I'm just going to establish that here and now, you are not going to do that. I will help you figure out a solution, but you are not abandoning any of those boys. I'm so sorry, Oatmeal. You said that and Tome and me went absolutely feral.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Don't voice as a master of running away from my problems and have gotten no, you're not doing that in front of me. I know bullshit when I see it.
Yeah, he's very confused, and he's like, what do you mean, abandoning? But they're not. I would not.
If you go into hiding, okay, I understand. It sounds like a good idea when you think it. Okay, I completely understand that. That it's very understandable to think that it's a good idea. And perhaps if you did not have people who cared about you, that would be a good idea. But the fact is when you go into hiding, you often have to limit how many people know about you. That's the whole reason hiding works. So either you tell all the boys where you're going into hiding, and that is no longer going into hiding because they know where you are and thus the information could get out, or you go into hiding and you don't tell any of them, and then they start to worry. Then Azumi starts to panic thinking you left him, Leonardo thinks you've abandoned him, Camille thinks you've abandoned him, Jubilee thinks you've
Why? Why
abandoned
would they
him.
think that?
Because they care about you, okay?
But
They care about you, and the fact that you could disappear from their lives in a moment, even if you're going over it, even if they understand why you would do it, the fact that you could disappear from their lives, and the fact that you, even for a second, may have implied that you wouldn't have told them where you were going. Because let's be honest, if you had told, that hiding does not work like that. So don't you ever say hiding in front of them. Don't you ever imply around them that you're going to leave them and leave their lives. You can travel, yes, but if you dare imply around any of those boys that you're going to be leaving their life, I will personally come for you.
he's just kind of like. He is just like agog. He is not.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay. He's just he's going to like try and he like puts his tea down and puts his hands up. Um and he's like, "Okay. Forget the hiding thing. Um I'm not sure I understand what you mean by leaving their lives, because I travel.
Okay. Okay. You can travel and not leave someone's life, okay? There is a significant difference. Do you think that traveling means you just automatically leave people's lives? Professor, you can't tell me that you actually intended that you felt that just because you're a traveler that these people just expected you to one day just leave their life forever.
It depends.
I'm so mad because I'm Toba's handing me these physical expressions and I can't put them into words. He's just handing me so much anger right now. You have made this man like actually furious in my head.
Yeah, no, he's just Tome, sometimes when you go to a place, you meet some people and you're with them for, I don't know, a few weeks, a few months, and then you leave and you happen to never see them again. That's just how traveling works.
Yes, that is how traveling works.
Okay.
Congratulations. You have no. Shut up for a second, Professor. Actually, hold up. Shut up. Shut up right now, okay? I'm so sorry, Oatmeal. By the way, you can tell me to shut. You can tell me to shut up anymore.
No, this is good.
Shut up. Don't actually no. Completely stop this. You know what? I put up with a lot of bullshit in this entire situation for a set bit. Okay, I've put up with bullshit about murder, whether it's okay to murder. I've done with that. You know what? I understand that. Okay, I've had my own questions about it. Okay, this is a whole different level of nonsense. Okay, so you shut up. You shut the fuck up. Actually, you know I'm gonna curse. You shut the fuck up. You sit down. Don't even stand up. Sit down. Put that tea in your lap and you start drinking and listening. You understand that? Because I'm about to explain to you how much of a bullshit explanation and bullshit logicality you just gave right there. Okay. And don't you argue to this, that is not an option anymore.
He is going to pick up his tea but remain standing. He looks...
Down.
No, he looks very stubborn. This is not a man who is used to taking orders.
Professor. I promise thee, I am not in the mood to test this, okay? And by God, I will use whole person on you right now if it gets you to sit down, because I do not want you trying to walk off. I don't want you trying to run up. I want to be able to make sure that the moment you intend on trying to leave this situation and leave this conversation before I get through your thick skull why that's such a bad bullshit idea, I will know. So you're going to sit down, okay?
I'm not going anywhere.
You better not, okay? If you so want to even consider leaving before I finish making you realize how much stupid decision that you just implied.
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Toma's giving you such a fierce look right now. Now listen, okay? It's okay to travel. Traveling is okay. And yeah, sometimes you do see people for a week or two. That's how things work. But there is a significant difference between walking into somebody's life and leaving in a few weeks and then changing the entirety of someone's life and then disappearing. These boys care about you. I have never seen Azumi actually show any sort of any bit of care or kindness to the extent he shows around you. And if you even for a second leave his life, I don't want to see what happens to him afterwards. I don't even want to know what happens, okay? No, and the fact that Leonardo opens up around you, the fact that Camille goes near you, the fact that Camille has allowed you on his situation, you are involved in these people's lives. You are tied to their lives. And whether or not you like that, that means you cannot just walk out and leave. That means you are a permanent part of life. So I don't care if you have to find a way to communicate with them across the ends of this universe. I don't care if you're on the edge of your deathbed. You better be making sure that these people know that you're still in their life, okay? Because you may have entered this this planet thinking, oh, I'm going to be here for a week or two and I'm not going to make any connections, okay? But you did. You made the connections. You connected. You made people care about you, and I don't care if you don't care about them. They care about you. So you need to take a second minute to just sit down and just understand that you cannot leave any of these people because you are part of their lives now. And if you so happen to think of that, then you're being a selfish bastard who is not showing that these people are part of your life now. You may not care, but they do. So help me by the gods, you want to talk about an oath? I swear right now, if you abandon these boys right in front of me, if you make them feel like they were not loved, like all this time spent with you has been for nothing, and that it was just some vacation for you, I so help me by the gods, I will make sure that as long as my Toon life goes on, you will understand that you have hurt them, and you will understand that that was the most bullshit behavior you could have done.
Oh boy.
I need a drink.
Do that.
Oh, Tome handed me some emotions.
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry, Oatmeal.
No, it's good. It's great. This is honestly, Professor looks away and he sits down and he looks pretty upset and you're let's see, what's your passive insight?
Passive insight? 22.
Yeah, no. You see a hint of that fear that you saw several times during the events of the vampire game. And
Here, Professor.
no, it's not of you. You can tell that. You can tell that.
Okay, thank goodness. Tome would feel horrible.
Yeah, no, he's not scared of you. That much is clear. But yeah, and there's a it's well hidden, but you can see there is a small bit of guilt there as well.
Okay. Tome is calming down some now that he sees a bit of guilt and that things that he's gotten through to Professor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's calming down in my head. And he takes a slow, deep breath. Okay. And he kind of brushes himself off. Forgive me for popping off. I do not regret anything I said, and I will stand by everything I did say.
He just nods and puts up a hand like in acknowledgement.
I could have held my temper a bit. And he kind of just sits down and takes his coffee and takes a slow sip from it.
Mm-hmm. Professor is still kind of like staring and thinking and still looks just kind of agitated and troubled.
You want to say anything? Now is the time.
It is not my intention to... It's not my intention to hurt them. I didn't expect... He puts the tea down again and just scrubs both hands over his face. Tome, I wasn't supposed to be here this long.
Well, whether or not you were supposed to be, you have. And you have to live with the consequences of that. I will not say for a second that Okay, you weren't supposed to be here this long. Okay, move on. You were here this long. You did get attachments, okay, and now you have to deal with the consequences of that. And when I say consequences, that does not mean act like this is a problem for you to deal with. Okay? But gods, I'll help you if there's some reason. And like I said, you can keep traveling. That's not, you can't, I'm not saying stop traveling. I'm saying even if you do go off somewhere, don't stop talking to them. Don't let them become a memory that eventually fades. Don't let them become just another name in a list. Keep them part of you. Talk to them. Send messages, letters. I don't care. Just make sure they know that they're worth remembering to you, okay?
Everybody's worth remembering to me.
Well, you can prove that. Because it's a lot harder to prove. It's a lot harder to believe that
I
when people leave your life.
don't always get a choice. I don't always get a choice in whether or not I can remain in contact with people.
Then we'll fix that. Because here's the thing. Even if you don't get a choice, that should not be how it is. You should be allowed that choice. No one should ever decide for you whether or not you get to have people in your life. Connections are not some plot point to be thrown around.
I don't.
No, I'm not saying you think that. What I'm saying is so by the gods, whatever bullshit person I'm sorry, I'm so happy I can finally curse this show. Oh my gosh, this is freeing. uh, I'm sorry. Whatever bullshit person thinks that it's okay for you to just for them to force you, or whatever force on this earth thinks it's okay to make you have to leave people, that's bullshit. You shouldn't have to go through that, just like the people who care about you shouldn't have to lose you. You don't deserve to suffer any more or less than any of them do.
Tome,
Unless you're telling me that you're happy to leave. And he
I'm
does look up when you say Tome.
I'm not. But Tome, the people doing this are people that I've been in one way or another fighting against my whole life. And they're some of the most powerful people out there. And I've met some powerful people. And to complicate it even further, they're my kin. I'm one of them.
I'm not gonna roll. No, this is keep going.
Yeah. He just sort of shakes his head like, I don't want this to be this way any more than anyone else who's ever had to interact with me. Including you, including them. I want to temper expectations.
You want people to expect to lose you so it doesn't hurt.
I hate that I have to, but
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay. Okay. Then he puts the coffee down. All right. Professor, I can't fix these things, and I can't tell you how to do it, but the fact that you don't want this any more than any of us do. Okay, sure, I started getting angry because I was worried about what the boys felt, but the fact is also that what you feel is also important, and kin or not, you don't deserve to suffer, and no matter how powerful they are, you don't deserve to suffer. there are things in this world to like. There is things in this world too that are more powerful than some of us will ever be. And there are things in this world we can never fight alone. And sometimes we can't even fight in groups. There are things in this world that we can push against for all our life and make no damn difference. But you being alone does not need to be one of those things. And they may be powerful, and they may be strong, and gods, who knows what else they may be able to do. But the fact still stands that you don't deserve that. And the moment you start telling yourself that you deserve that, even if you've spent your whole life thinking that, even if you have lost 1,000,000 times to this, as long as, if you give up, then you're right, they don't need to get attached to you. Because if you're not willing to keep trying, if you're not willing to hit that wall over and over and over again for the smallest chance that you might be able to stay in their lives, then maybe you don't deserve them. But I don't think you want to give up any more than they want you to give up. I think you just think you have to. I don't know everything about you, Professor. We've barely talked. We've barely met, okay? I'm going to be honest. I am a stranger amongst your world. I didn't even know about this whole place. And he motions to ellipsis.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact still stands that I know a lot about stories. My whole life is one. My whole life is just practically a page in a book for some people. I'm a name in a paper for half of them, and I'm a blob of colors in the background for most. I've spent my whole life watching how the world changes and affects people. And I have seen things in this world that are so powerful that cannot change things. I've seen things that affect even gods. And I've just stood there and watched, because that's just how life was. That's just how life was for Toons. For some of us. It was just how we just watched the world move around us. But even something as powerful as that, if you push against it enough, can change. And I think that you shouldn't give up on your story just yet. You shouldn't give up on them. Because they sure haven't given up on you. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to take. But you have to keep going for them, even if you can't go for yourself.
Well, I said I've been fighting against them in one way or another for my whole life, and well, I don't intend to stop.
Yes, but you intend to set those expectations. You tend to set people to lose you. And the thing about fighting is, and giving up, is a lot of people don't realize that you can fight against someone, but you can already have given up. And you give up the moment you stop thinking that you're going to win this, the moment you start thinking that you have to set that precedent, that you have to prepare to lose them. But if you enter this every time with the intention and action that this will be the last time you lose them, that this time you will keep them in your life, then you haven't given up. But the moment you walk up to someone and introduce yourself, and you're already acknowledging that in a few weeks you will never speak again, even if you tell yourself you're fighting, you're not fighting, you're running. I'm not asking you to run. I'm asking you to fight for these people who are in your life now. I'm asking you to fight for those boys. I am so sorry, Oatmeal. I don't know where Tome is handing me all this.
It's extremely good. It's extremely good.
This was not in my plans for this FPS. I don't think this was in any of our plans for this FPS.
I don't think so, but this is very good. This is very good. Alright, Professor is just sort of like I think he's got, like, his, I think he's got his hand leaning on his, not his head leaning on his hands with, like, his elbow on the table. And he's just like, all right, I think you're right. I just, would it not, would it really not be better to not have an understanding that
they'll one day lose you? No. Because not only, like I said, is that preparing yourself to run, that's acknowledging that one day you're going to run. Even if you pretend that you're going to be running, that's acknowledging that deep down you plan on leaving. No. There's also the fact, Professor, that I feel like I haven't emphasized enough, but that is also implying that you yourself are worth losing. Okay? And I think you need to give yourself a bit more credit than that.
he looks kind of frustrated, like he's not sure how to.
Yeah, no, it's a complex situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Tome doesn't have all the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Which is actually ironic, because if Tome knew all the puzzle pieces, he'd probably double down.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Oh, I think. Oops. I think I might have a knife for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Alright, Professor looks at Tome, and he's still kind of, like, frustrated, like there's something he's not sure if he's getting across. And he says, are you absolutely convinced that it would be better that if you knew you were going to lose someone, that you not get the chance to say goodbye?
I'm not saying that. And Tome's... Gosh, I'm gonna... If I start crying in real life... I'm not saying that. No. If I had the chance... If I knew I was gonna lose someone, I would tell them goodbye, yes. But... I wouldn't... You don't know that you're gonna lose them. You think you're gonna lose them. You expect to lose them. But you know what else I'd do? I'd make sure that every day I had with that person, they knew how much I cared. And if you spend your life preparing to leave, you're not spending every day showing that you care. You spend every day preparing yourself for that loss. You spend yours preparing yourself for that pain. But if you really do care about them, if it really is somebody who is worth saying goodbye to, then you will open yourself up. You will connect to them, and you will make sure they know that they are loved. Because sometimes, you're right, you will lose people. And so that's why you need to make sure that you spend each and every day with these boys, with these people on this earth, with all these connections you have made. Making sure you act like you're going to have them for the rest of your life. And you're going to believe that, but you also want to act like it's the last day you're ever going to see them. Because you don't know which of them it's going to be. So yeah, you can shield yourself, you can protect yourself, but that will not change how much you care about them, and that will not change how much it will hurt when you lose them. No matter how much you tell yourself that you're going to be better if they just expect it, it won't change how much it hurts. Because the thing is if you tell yourself that, you're not losing someone you care about. Because you never opened yourself up to care about them. No, all you do in that moment is you lock yourself up and you just prepare. And it becomes like sitting in a car driving past these lives. You care about them. You've opened your heart up, and no matter how much you tell yourself that one day you're going to lose them, it's still going to hurt. So you might as well make sure that they know that you care and that you show that and that you let yourself care. Because maybe if you open yourself up completely and you stop acting like this is a protection for yourself, because let's be honest, this is not protecting them, it's protecting you in this moment. It's protecting yourself from that hurt. You open yourself up, maybe then you won't unconsciously start preparing to run, because maybe then you'll start unconsciously preparing to fight. You could be fighting in the real world, but you can in your mind have already given up. And the point is yes, I would say goodbye to that person. I would tell them goodbye, but I would, every second up to that, make sure I was in their life. I would take up every bit of that moment. And the people who take that person from me will have to take them from me with my hands clawing. I will fight for that person, even if I have to go first.
Professor...
When I choose... Oh, you go.
Professor gets up and he goes over to Tome and he takes his shoulders and he starts shaking him and he says, "Fine, you're right. You're right. Fine. But know this. I lose everyone. So forgive me."
I do. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think you've forgiven yourself yet. And Tome is looking you dead in the eye right now.
He's like tearing up.
Tome's going to reach to give him a hug.
But he looks like mad.
Yeah, no, Tome's just going to reach to give him a hug.
Yeah, he hugs back. But it's the sort of like...
Yeah.
Like rough, like annoyed but you're right hug.
And Tome hugs him back, and it's firm and it's tight, and he's like, "Listen, you have every right to be scared, and you have every right to be hurt, and I can't blame you for wanting to put up these walls. But I think that you're hurting yourself even more by doing that. Because you're denying yourself something. You're denying yourself love and care and family and everything else that makes this life worth fighting. So yeah, I can't blame you. I don't blame you. But I know that you blame yourself in this moment, just based off how much you're fighting for this. Because if you... And Tome's just like hugging him. I know that I know that you didn't want to admit I was right, because if you admit that I was right, then yeah, you can blame yourself, because it means you were wrong. But the fact is you do care, and you do admit you're right, and you do want to fight. And so by God's, okay, maybe you can fight more. Maybe you do know, and you've lost people, and God's, who knows? We're probably going to lose more people in the future. That's just how life is. But the fact is, God, one second, I need a moment. Tome's grabbing me in this one, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is you have people now, and you're not fighting alone anymore, Professor, okay? I'm asking you to fight for them, not for yourself. Because the honest truth is you don't need to worry about yourself right now because they're going to fight for you. That's what happens when you care about each other. That's what happened then with the vampires, is we cared about each other, so we fought for each other. And that's what's happening now. So you shouldn't have to suffer because we don't want you to suffer because we care about you and we're going to fight to keep you just as long as you fight to keep us. This is supposed to be a funky FPS about vampires. Reminded us.
Yeah. Professor's just like... Professor, I can make this funny again. Like, Tome is talking, and like towards the end of that, he just like takes one hand and like just sort of splays it over Tome's face, and he's just like, shush.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot. You clearly don't know me quite well enough to hit exactly right, but you're also right, okay? And I get it.
Yeah, I know shit about you, let's be honest. I know that you're old, and that you don't like vampires, and that I'm pretty sure you either have done witchcraft to convince Izumi to be nice to you, or you are some kind of magic man in some way.
No, I just like people who are rude.
Oh, well, that explains a lot about your friend group, actually. And explains why you let me just absolutely tear into you this long.
Well, sometimes I need to put my pride aside.
Really? You have pride after all that. I'm impressed. You're doing a lot better than I would have. He just kind of laughs.
He smushes his hand, like, further into your face.
Oh, God, I don't know where that thing's been. Get it out of my face. He kind of just pushes it away.
He lets him go, and just sort of, like, leans against the table. Good grief. And I think I'm gonna roll perception.
Yeah! This is a perfect time. Rolling an advantage for crying out loud.
Okay, good, because that was a bad roll.
Oh,
That's still bad. That's only a 10.
You know what? If you want to bullshit right over this, bullshit right over this.
Yeah, you know what? It's an FPS. I think this would be a funny moment for him to notice.
It'd be hilarious.
So he's just looking at him with, like, amused and, like, vaguely annoyed sort of affection, and, like, his expression sort of shifts, and, like, his brows furrow, and he's like, well, you look different.
Oh. Wait, did you not notice that? Nobody seems to be noticing that. I guess I'm the only one who... Yes, no, I had a design change. It happens to some of us toons if we go through enough of a significant change in life, and especially with me, I've had almost the exact same design for the past...
He stands up
30+
straighter,
years.
and, like, he's looking very closely at, like, your face, and he backs up and, like, looks at, like, your whole deal.
Yes.
And he's sort of, like, nodding appreciatively. Yeah,
no, it's, I'm considering this a success in all ends. I've gained more distinctive features.
More detailed.
Yeah. It's, weird. I'm not used to it. You kind of shiver slightly. It's a lot to get used to, I will admit. Especially not used to the gray hairs.
Yes, that's a nice touch.
Thank you. Okay. Tom's like a little red at that, like, wait a minute, what?
God.
He doesn't. He does not know how to take a compliment.
But yeah, he's just sort of like nodding with like his eyebrows raised, like, it looks good.
Thank you. Guess, okay then. I...
He just sort of like raised.
He's just like absolutely like in shock.
He just sort of tilts his head like he doesn't understand what.
Sorry, compliments, not... Okay. Anyways,
Not
moving
used to
on.
getting compliments.
Let's move on.
I can't imagine why. Would you like
Oh,
more?
no, you don't need to roll insight. There is like 50 question marks that instantly appear over his head at that. You don't... You've never met me on a case. Okay. Everything makes sense again.
He's just giving him a sort of like blank look.
I
Would you like more coffee? You seem a bit out of
Oh,
sorts.
yes.
Okay.
absolutely just go ahead and prepare 2 cups worth.
Right.
It's going to be a... Gods, okay. And he chugs what's left of his first one and just puts it down.
Have you, been in touch with, Eri?
No, I sent him a little letter apologizing for my behavior, but
Oh, so did I.
other than that, I haven't. I have talked to Jubilee, who visited me, and you.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent a text message to my sons.
Well, that's good.
Yes, I did make sure to contact them.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably visit them soon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if Azumi's in there?
Oh, I don't know, probably. He's not in here, so...
Okay. I'm gonna wait till Azumi comes and visits you, because I don't know if I want to visit... I don't know if I want to face Azumi at the same time I finish the... Now this stays between the two of us, but Azumi scares me a bit. And I don't want to risk that.
Oh, well, that's alright. He can be intimidating. He's quite good at that.
Oh, it's less the intimidation and more I'm pretty sure he'd rip my throat out if I ever hurt the boys. If you think I was terrifying, oh.
Well, why would
God.
Why would he think you were going to hurt them?
Not...
I mean...
I'm about to feed this theory of professors. I've not been the best father.
Yeah, Professor just sort of like there's sort of like a small gasp of like realization, and his eyebrows go up and he's like, right.
I did,
Yes, no, Camille told me it's alright.
He told you? Oh.
We were talking about things.
Oh, God, yeah, no, I left the boys at one point. It was not my highest moment. In fact, I'd consider it the lowest moment in my life, which is part of the reason.
Yes, part of the reason you got on my case. I understand. Yes. I understand.
Yes. So, I know how much it can hurt them, and any fury that I feel towards myself will be unleashed upon you as well. So not only will you have the protective father instincts, but you also have my own self-loathing on top of that. So really, truly fear me at that point.
I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, I could be quite intimidating, don't you know? These round shapes are just an illusion. I'm truly a terrifying being when I want to be. Don't you know? Absolutely dreadful. The pinks and yellows is simply a very elaborate illusion. Actually, in fact, I dress in all black most of the time, and I walk around staring at the distance gloomingly, and I talk about cigarettes or something. It's not my genre. Let's be honest. I can't even pretend it's my genre.
Oh.
He was not mimicking Asumi, but that's really funny.
Oh.
This is really funny though, out of character, because in most universes where Tome doesn't find Pritch, he actually does become a hardcore Nor. So like he genuinely does. There are plenty of AUs where Tome does dress in completely black and white and does carry around a cigarette and all that. So it's really funny.
Man.
Tome unknowingly describing his a universe where he never met Pritch.
Hmm.
Do you have anything else?
Is that in character or?
No, that's out of character.
Oh, okay. I did think about dropping the thing about Camille.
You can if you want.
Okay. Professor's just quiet for a bit, and then he says, oh, there's been something I've been meaning to confirm with you.
Yes.
Regarding Camille.
And Tome does grow more serious, yes. Go ahead.
Right, so naturally you'd know more about this than I, but, well, you said that the, special water, as you called it, when applied to a living thing, turns it into a mistid.
Except with humanoids, but yes. And it...
Well, yes,
yeah.
It usually kills them, except, well, Camille survived. Would that make him a mistid?
I'm rolling that one at disadvantage, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
I am overriding that. Tome would not have rolled above a 20. I know, that's bullshit if I've ever seen it. I'm over... This, like we said, this is an FPS. We get to override it to stay in character.
Yes.
Tome goes completely pale at that.
Oh, goodness.
Like, he is already white. You see all the color and saturation drain from every part of him. And I know I've shown the ref what he looks like when he's completely black and white. That's what he looks like.
Professor actually startles and, reaches for him. Oh, goodness, are you okay?
Oh, gosh.
Tome?
Camille does count as a mistid.
Tome, why have you gone all white? More than usual.
I'm sorry, out of character. Tome's not gonna break, but oh my gosh, that killed me. Sorry. More than usual. Give me a second. Oh my God.
Well, we discussed how his skin, just because of his design. With real kind, it's referring to your pallor, your complexion. So he's clarifying not just your complexion.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. Help me, holy shit. Oh, deep breath, Spec, deep breath, get it back together. Oh my gosh, I'm lightheaded. Oh my gosh, that one got me. I've survived this whole FPS, and then the why are you white? No, Camille can't know. But congratulations! You sent him into a he's effectively just like his brain's not functioning in my head.
Mm-hmm. Professor mutters something sharply in Celestial and pulls out a chair with his foot and just sort of he tries to just sort of maneuver Tome into it, like by the shoulders.
Tome was already sitting.
Oh, okay, he was still.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Tome. He's like in your face, like.
Yes. Sorry, Professor. I'm here. Sorry. And he's like blinking a few times, trying to snap back into it.
Well,
if you wouldn't mind backing up a little bit, it's a little hard to breathe right now.
Yes, he does that. But he still looks very concerned.
One sec, I'm putting a content warning in the gallery. We'll add this to the before we upload.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm starting to realize what Tome's handing me. So I have to put that disclaimer in the gallery because that is a significant content warning.
Yep.
He's taking a slow, deep breath. The thing about Mystids is it brings along with it an extreme amount of complications that get into a lot of... And the fact that Camille may be one, that complicates things even further, both in the social complex and the biological complex and everything complex.
Yes.
The fact that he could...
we've seen the effect that his blood has on other things.
Will you slip this, Tome? Oh, that's a 10. I'm gonna count it. Technically, that's a 10 before modifier, but... Yeah, no, the 14's the lowest we're gonna get. I'm gonna go with it, because Tome would slip. He is really out of it right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm not worried about what he could do. I'm worried about what other people do. Professor, do you know why I'm a detective for Mystids? Do you know what crimes are involved with Mystids?
No, I don't. I just know that they're caused by this thing that also happens to kill people.
Yes, but the water is not normally involved in crimes. Camille's the first case where it's actually been a crime that's involved a humanoid. Most of the time, Mystid cases are kidnapping and extinction.
Ooh. Yeah.
So the fact that Camille is... Do you understand? Oh god, oh god, oh god,
yeah.
oh god.
Professor puts, like, a hand on his shoulder.
Oh god. Oh god.
Tome. Take a deep breath. He's going to he's gonna try and, like, take one of his hands and just sort of, like, squeeze it to give him some, like, just sort of some grounding sensation, like...
I'm sorry. I'll be better in a minute. Sorry.
You're alright. Just calm. Just breathe, okay? Clearly this is something very upsetting. We will untangle it. Nothing is happening right now.
Oh god. Yeah, no, you're right. Nothing
is happening.
Camille's safe.
Mm-mm.
I don't care about me. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about Camille now.
He's safe. Azumi is very probably with him, and if he's not,
oh god,
Jubilee is. They're fine.
Okay.
They're fine.
Okay. And he's taking a bit more even breaths now.
professor's just gonna, like, sit across from him.
Well, sorry, forgive me for that, but to answer your question, then yes, that would make Camille a misted by technicality and by classification.
Okay. Okay. I clearly didn't realize what all that entails. But we can deal with that.
Yes, yes. It should be fine. I haven't heard anything from that group in a while, so he should be safe for now.
Hmm.
Okay, it's gonna be fine.
Did,
Be-
hmm. Did you ever manage to get in touch with, that other professor?
he kind of sweats. Well, yes and no.
Oh?
Well, as you see, I did get in contact with him, and he was working on a way to fix Camille's situation, but
That's good.
he is currently 6 feet under now.
Uh, uh?
Yes, I don't know all the details. I wasn't there for the actual case, but somebody killed him because of his research.
Was that the
I'm
professor that tried to cheat the lot of them out of fair wages for detective work?
Yes, that would be
Oh
him. He
no.
was never listen. He was the only person I knew who he was one of the two people I knew who had done intensive research on this outside of myself. I did not agree with his choices, but as long as I didn't
And
send him
he's.
to
And he's.
yes, he's dead.
Okay, 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 okay.
Supposedly the person who murdered him got captured. I have attempted to interrogate, but I haven't gotten any information.
Hmm.
But no, that professor is dead, which leaves us with only two people who know anything about the water and its full capabilities, myself included, and I am far from any level of genius. And the other person does not deal with living creatures, deals with plants. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yes, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. We may still be able to get some information from that. Um,
I I have gotten access to most of his what survived the fight. I have access to his notes. They're somewhere. I haven't looked at them yet.
sure, sure,
There's a lot
sure.
of information. Yeah,
Right.
sorry.
That's quite
I should
alright.
probably get those to you. I know you're working on it as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, that would be a good step in the right direction to keeping Camille safe.
Yes, yes. If we can do this, he won't be a target. He'll be safe. Do this,
Correct.
you'll be safe. You'll be safe. You'll be safe. You'll be safe.
Yes, and in the meantime, we've got lots of people very interested in keeping him safe,
Mhm.
we've as we've seen.
Yes. Okay. Gods. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Gods. I'm gonna have to give him protective equipment. I'm gonna have to prepare for this. Gods.
It
Okay.
protective. He's already.
Misted. No. It's a completely separate thing. Mystids have certain weaknesses they all share. I don't know why.
Oh,
Like I said, enough is known about them, but
a
it
few things.
yes, and I don't know if he has enough blood in him, the water to for them to activate, but I'd rather not risk it because it would leave him vulnerable and a lot
Hmm.
more prone to not being able to defend himself.
I see. I see. I see. Well, it does seem that a fair, yes, worth trying out. It seems that a fair enough amount of whatever that is does seem to make up his blood volume,
It's
as
completely
evidenced
shocking.
by, well,
Yes, by
yes.
his situation. God.
Well, I
God,
meant by the
okay.
vampire, but yes.
Tome kind of laughs. Oh God, I completely forgot about the vampire. I forgot about that god.
Hmm.
Oh God. I forgot about this the, that cursed vampire.
I've never known vampires to be particularly weak to poison of, well,
It's a
most kinds, but
very
no, I know, but that's what makes it so impressive. I think it's there's a sort of sort of what's the word? Uh, Poetic irony.
1 second. I had to put another content warning because I know that's a big one too, and we are discussing the water, so we're just especially because emotions to what happens to people who normally drink it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not surprised by the explosion. It's very in character for the water with how it kills, but it was definitely shocking at the moment. I will not lie. I did not expect that much dramatic boom.
Yes, it was quite exciting.
Yeah, we'll call it exciting. Sure, we'll call it exciting.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, I think I'm doing a bit better. Sorry about that again.
That's all right. How's this color?
His color it's not full back, but there is touches of it again.
Mm-hmm. Very pastel.
Yeah, it's very, very muted.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Goodness, Tome. When you pale, you really go all out.
Like, that's just, it's, I did joke about wearing all black. If I get put in a dramatic enough situation, I lose all my saturation. My hat becomes a nice gray. My jacket, all of that. It's really fitting for the genre. Really, really helps tell the story.
Always dressed for the occasion.
Uh, just one of my many talents. Did not expect this to be so wholesome towards the end.
Aw.
I didn't expect them to have banter. I expected them to talk, be serious, and then no, they've both. What? Chewy voice turns off when he's put into situations. Yes.
uh, hmm.
Not tell the boys about this. Any of this, please.
That's fine. Yes.
Okay. You could tell Camille just about the misted part. Don't tell him about anything involving me. They worry too much as it is. And I have it handled now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'll if I see him before you do, I'll let him know that there's uh, more that he should know, and he should probably ask
Yes.
you for more details.
Yes. I can prepare myself for that conversation.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if I should give you more coffee or something a little more calming.
Oh, no coffee.
If you're sure.
Yes.
All
Gods,
right.
please.
All right. All right. This is funny and awfully nasty. But he hands you another
No,
cup.
Tome takes it in a single chug. It's all gone right there, like a shot. Okay.
He's
Oh
just
god,
sort
that's
of
better.
shaking his head.
Listen, it's my genre. Cheap, disgusting black coffee, as most people refer to it. It's just what I drink. You learn to like it. It tastes like home.
uh. Hmm. Well, I never got a taste for it in upwards of 30 years, so.
Well, if you ever if you ever need it drained, let me know and I can personally probably take care of your stock and give me one day to talk about keeping Camille out of a murder case for a day, and I'm 100% sure I'll go through every bit of coffee you have in here. He kind
Probably.
of just laughs a bit at that.
I don't doubt it. I do have quite a lot less of this than I do of tea. I don't know how much.
That makes sense. The boys much prefer tea, and I'm quite surprised you even have this stuff considering you know Arata and Leonardo. Would have thought
Oh,
they'd replaced it by now.
I think that they just don't know. They haven't quite. Um, As a matter of fact, I think I usually get tea when I go to the last one in. And I don't
I'm sorry.
actually see. Have I been to the? I think I got tea when I was at the Painted Lady. Actually,
Yeah, no, that they do their best to serve tea, and like let's just keep this coffee between us. Since nobody else will appreciate it, I will personally take care of this.
well, Camille might.
Camille doesn't get coffee. I don't care how old he is. I don't care any of that. No, he doesn't get coffee.
Hmm.
He only drinks it at this point out of spite.
I don't know.
No, I am 100% convinced that he only drinks it out of spite now. If he
Well.
wants caffeine, give him a soda.
Hmm.
That's much more his genre. The moment he starts drinking coffee, he feeds into the whole detective genre.
He's
And
already very detective.
yes, well, we don't need to feed it anymore.
Well, maybe he's just trying to be like his father.
Ah, no, okay, don't. Better mental health. Okay. I would not. And he does say that. I would. I don't think my type of murder cases and his are the same, whether or not he tries to be like me, which I'm quite certain he does not. If anything, I am pretty certain we have started to go the other way around, where I'm trying to more act like him. Um,
Hmm. Fair enough.
but his murder cases tend to be a bit more serious than mine.
Really?
Yes, I am.
I mean, I know his are serious, but I actually really don't know very much about your end of things.
I am. Do not.
Although you did
I'm
say you were rather, what was it, restricted to sort of a more teenish rating, PG-13, something like that.
Yeah, I was a PG-13, and I'll be honest, my genre is more comedy.
Well, I can appreciate that.
Yes, well, that also means most of my murders are not particularly. That's part of the reason I had um, a bit of confusion on the serious matter presented at the vampire lair, because most of my cases are either presented as a joke or treated less seriously. I mean, I can count on one hand how many times I've seen a body in the past year, even though I
Ah,
focus on murder cases.
this was about a bit out of your.
Yes.
Mm,
So his are definitely a lot. Well, I mean, mine may start changing now, but
mm.
his are definitely a. I don't think he could he could follow in my footsteps. He is not 100% tuned, and I'm quite certain most people will never follow my footsteps, and I'll be honest, I hope none of them ever do.
Oh, well, don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, no, no, I'm would be quite happy with people not following in my shoes when it comes to my case and lifestyle.
All right, all right. Fair enough.
This is really funny because Professor doesn't know.
No, he has no idea!
This is hilarious. They both just don't know the other's full context, which makes these conversations 10 times funnier.
Yes, yes.
Tome voice, yes. No, I don't want anyone else to get background character syndrome.
Oh my god.
Professor voice, don't beat yourself up. You're an amazing father now. You're not that bad of a detective.
God. Man. Ooh, let me pitch something in the roll zone. We can always do this later, but,
I did get a lot more of my homework done beforehand than I was thinking, so I'm a little bit more chill on time. I can roll that in history. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll let that one up to dice.
Cool.
That was, you will decide if this was enough. I'll let you decide on that. Because it is a close one.
Yeah. I think you remember something being off, just not, something being off about that, just maybe not exactly specifically what it was or how off it was. But definitely something was off and you remember noticing that.
Okay, Tome, how are you going to word this? Without saying your blood looks weird. Well, I do want to... I glanced, but don't want to make sure. Your bite, is it healing all right? It looked a little... Well, you definitely did not look comfortable during the fight.
Oh.
I noticed you were bleeding.
Yes. Yes, like I said, Crystal took a look at it. It's, healing fine. It actually looks like, it's actually healing quite well for a real kind. It just, let's see, tomorrow or the next day I should be, recovered completely from the blood loss and all of that. But yeah, no complications, infection or anything. Didn't hit anything, that would take any more involved sort of, healing.
Okay, that's good. All right.
It did hit me rather hard, though.
Yes, it did, and I was very concerned in the fight. It looked like it wasn't pretty, but I'm glad to hear that everything is all right now. Nothing's out of the normal. I'm sorry, Tom's just assuming that he must have misseen something.
Aww.
Okay.
But yes.
Oh, sorry, Wait, you go.
Oh, he just sort of like, he brushes his fingers against it, and he's just sort of like, the bandages were sort of irritating the bruises, is why I've got it out like this.
Well, I won't snitch on you, okay?
Alright.
There is a laugh. So, if I don't make any promises about the boys not snitching on you, I think they might. I'd go as far as to say they might even make a competition on who could snitch first.
Oh, it's been long enough. I don't have to keep it bandaged at all hours. It's got to...
Yes, it has to breathe.
Yes.
Don't admit, I don't know a lot about real kind healing and anatomy. It's very different from mine and other tunes.
Oh, yes, it is rather different. At least I've found. I had a bit of a lesson, actually, with Crystal a while back about toon physiology and such.
Yes, and it can vary from tune to tune,
I
especially
know, it
depending.
makes it
It's
so
really complicated.
difficult.
It's I need you to understand, it's an absolute nightmare at crime cases. The
Oh
amount of
no.
evidence that's not consistent. I mean, depending on the tune, the blood can dry differently. There are some tunes that straight up disappear when they die.
Oh good. Oh my goodness, that's right.
Yes, this chalk outline, it's a very, very morbid situation, actually.
Good grief.
We love the minor horrors of tunes. Brought to you by your local tune detective.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, if anything does start messing with it, and or you need someone to go get anything, just let me know. I do want to make sure you do recover. Like I said, I do feel bad that I wasn't able to stop it.
Oh no, that's all right. But it's just no. Truly, I. This is the best that I could have hoped for with that whole situation. I think. This could have gone far worse. I was expecting far, 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 far worse. Far worse.
I'm glad to see you have so much faith in us.
No, it's just.
No, it's all. I'm messing with you. And he gives a little nudge. Don't worry.
Ay, ay,
Don't
ay.
worry. I'm pretty sure most of us enter that with pretty low expectations.
Oof. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. If we hadn't won, that would have been really bad.
I'm gonna be honest. If we hadn't won, a couple of things would have happened, depending on who went down first. If any of us but Azumi had gone down first, we would have won because Azumi would have killed them in that moment. Actually, I'm quite certain. Um, if Azumi had gone down first, then we would have started having to worry.
Mm.
Um, but either my god or many other people would probably have snapped. Actually, that's a very long list, but no. I will admit I did enter that knowing that. Well, I hope nobody got downed. If as long as it wasn't Azumi, we would definitely be winning if someone went down.
Mm.
He definitely shifts attitude and motions to how he reacted to you getting bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you actually reacted rather quickly, too.
I well, I like I said, I was a little worried about you, of course, and he's kind of like looking away, a little embarrassed.
Well, sure, I mean, I'm just saying I appreciate it very much, because
Well,
this was a nightmare.
definitely, and like I said, a lot of people do care about you, so expect that to continue. So long as you're on this planet, there will be people who will continue to fight for you like that.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean run into stupid situations, though. I have to put that disclaimer there because I motioned to the group of boys in that house. If I don't I've learned I have to disclaim that. People
Yes.
do let go to their heads a bit.
Yes, yes, everyone's telling me not to do stupid things. Not all of the things that happen to me are my choice. Many of them, however, are. I have gotten into my fair share of trouble. I will own up to that.
Oh boy. Okay, so you're a troublemaker.
Oh, you could say that. Many
Oh.
have. A real pain in the neck.
Oh, really? The neck? That's not where I thought that phrase was going. Tome does laugh softly. Well, as long as you don't be too much of one and you keep yourself somewhat out of trouble, I'll do my best to help keep you out of trouble.
Fair enough.
No, you may be getting your wish about staying around rude people, especially without this filter. If you keep being stupid, I can't promise I'll be nice in my reactions.
Well, that's all right.
Won't be as mean as Azumi, but
I don't think you're capable of that.
I can be very mean, thank you very much.
Hmm.
I can be absolutely downright cruel if I wanted to. I just don't want to.
Hmm.
Calorie going, really? Really, Tome? This is really funny if you know Tome, because one of his like original things is he has a proficiency in intimidation. He's had a proficiency in intimidation longer than Azumi has. So this is really funny. He just never uses it. Like, out of character, Tome could actually be terrifying. Like, he has the capabilities because he is so, like, significantly in the toon genre that if he did decide to intimidate someone, the environment itself would shift around him. So he could pull off an intimidation card. He just doesn't because it's not his personality. He's too much of a jokester.
He's like, him being 7 feet is not intimidating to the professor. He's met people a lot taller. Yes, and he's also 6'3". It's not that. Shush. Shush. Marcy.
7 foot 3. I just said 7 foot frame. Are you telling me that's not a thing that exists? I don't know what you're talking about, Gallery. Nope. That wasn't long enough to count. This is how it gets demonetized. It's not any of the dark stuff. It's the. All right. Yeah, Tome doesn't have anything else he brought, so it's up to the professor if the professor wants to say anything. Also known as I, Spec, have already had everything I thought was going to come up thrown out the window, and I don't know how to get back there because we've already kind of brushed up against it, which was discussing the vampire, so I have no expectations. So if you want to drag my boy and I through the ground, let's go.
Let's see. Is there any... See, I did that.
Testing.
Yep, I
Okay.
think... Huh?
So fun fact, we're probably going to have to use your recording because it turns out it was recording you really quietly on my end. So you've been recorded, it's just extremely quietly. So we're probably going to use your recording.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's alright. Yeah, no. I think Professor is just quiet for a bit, and then he just sort of tilts his head and he goes like, if it's any consolation, the sort of time let's see, the amount of leeway I have time-wise with regards to those vampires is got to be at least a few centuries long, so we shouldn't have
What?
to...
Wait, hold up. So you're telling me you could just die of natural causes before you even need to face them?
Unlikely.
You just said a few centuries.
Well, yes. I mean,
I'm rolling.
it's possible, but I hope not.
Oh, they rolled a 15. He's not connecting the dots, Your Honor.
Oh, God.
He's just sitting there with, like, little question marks around his head. I
mean, you probably won't... I mean, assuming things go the way they're meant to, I shouldn't have to... Well, it shouldn't have to do anything with any of you, at any rate. It's only a problem because vampires are immortal.
I'm sorry. I think I'm not following here, Professor.
Well, I'm just saying I could put it off about that long, or maybe just short of that, and then find some way to deal with it. And
I'm sorry, are you implying that you're going to live longer than all of us?
Well, it's...
Tome's not even looking upset, he's just straight up confused, Professor.
Well, it's a morbid thought, and to put it that way, but yes.
The boys are younger than you. There is...
What?
I can't see how that would...
Well, it's less to do with them and more to do with me.
Listen, I understand. A lot of people at this age think that their cardio is a whole different level. I'm sorry, I had to make the joke. But you do not need to start thinking that you're immortal or something. That is a very good way to get killed.
Now, Tome, it's interesting that you say that, because my cardio is on a whole different level.
Oh,
here,
okay,
hang on.
I understand you mentioned you had pride.
Give me your hand. Does he do it?
I could be so stupid right now. I could be so stupid right now. Because Tome is very much not thinking clearly. Do you want me to take this into a whole different level of, like, extreme goofs?
If you want.
Well, we've only met a couple times, Professor, okay?
Tome! No! No, stop! That's not what I meant. No, let me show you my damn heartbeat. Not like that!
Like looking at you like this is not helping, Professor.
Not romantically! Tome!
You are really bad at this, aren't you?
Tome! I'm not flirting! Tome!
I'm sorry, Oatmeal. I had to kill us like this. The opportunity presented itself way too well.
He's just got, like, his hand over his face. Like, no.
No, you don't need to be... I understand getting caught in the act of flirting can be... It's very embarrassing. But
God, it's a great thing that I can't blush. Tome! Give me your goddamn hand.
Oh, okay. If it'll make you feel better, you're fine. And he just hands him his hand.
Yeah, he's gonna take his fingers and put them firmly on his wrist pulse point, and just be like, "Now pay attention."
You realize, Tome. Okay, that was a good roll. Oh. Oh, you weren't flirting. Oh, you weren't. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Yeah, wait a minute. You have. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait a minute. You said you could have. Wait a minute. And he kind of pulls his hand back.
No, I was not flirting.
He's bright red. Okay, okay, we're gonna forget about that. Okay, let's just forget about that entire conversation, anyways. But why is that? Why is just your heart beating that fast?
Hearts.
It's like that. Hearts.
2.
Hearts.
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 And he sort of does, like, a motion on his chest, like, point to one, point to the other, like one on each side of the sternum. 2, yes.
Like 2.
Like 2 of them.
Is it like an implant?
No, goodness gracious. No, I was born this way. And it's, oh, goodness gracious. Not a thing I can say can make this clear in a single... all of us are like this.
All of you?
Yes.
Oh, is it like a family thing? Is it like a recessive gene?
No, it's actually the dominant gene.
Okay, I understand that I understand that if you come from a family where you all have it, you will think it's a dominant gene, but you need to understand your experiences aren't universal.
I'm not talking about being left-handed, Tome.
Alright, this is so stupid, I love it.
Tome, oh god, let's see. He snaps his fingers at the ceiling, and he says, lights, and suddenly it's dark, and the professor is looking at you, and you can see his eyes reflect the tiny bit of light coming from the doorway, like in animals.
That is the wrong conclusion to hand me, actually. Is this why you were so interested in mistids?
What? Lights! And he snaps his fingers and the lights go back on. I'm not a mistid.
But these are obviously evolutionary traits. I mean,
Tome?
So,
okay,
perhaps,
alright, I think
okay,
maybe...
I know that it could be generational. The chances are there is a possibility that one of your ancestors then...
Nope, I think you may need some help. My dear, I'm an alien.
Yes, I understand you're not from Inkwell.
I am not
I
from
think that's a little bit of an outdated...
I'm not from Zatori. I'm not even from your moon. I'm from further.
You're what?
I'm from space. I'm from a different planet. Sky's orange. The trees are silver.
There are so many question marks around Tome right now. So you're telling me right now that I'm talking to an alien?
Yes, to a genuine alien.
Oh god, nope, I'm dreaming. Shit like this doesn't happen to me. Nope, I'm done. Nope. And he's like, nope, I'm officially dreaming at this point, or this is a prank. This is did Juby put you up to this?
No.
Is this because I wouldn't let him steal from you?
What? No. No, this isn't... nobody put me up to this.
Okay, I need the gallery to understand. Tome is aware there's aliens in Inkwell. There's a reason he said this doesn't happen to me. This is I'm sorry, meeting an alien's a very main character thing to have happen, okay? You cannot deny that. Gods, this is a... Oh gods, okay. Oh gods, do you have any more coffee, actually?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep it running.
Great.
and hand him a glass.
Tome takes a sip of that. Okay. Okay, cool. All right.
So
okay.
when I say that I can expect to live several more centuries,
Okay.
I mean very seriously. It's like elves, but turned up to 11. You know, elves live very long. They don't age much. I'm not oh gosh. How old did you think I was? Oh, you thought I was close to your age. What does that put me?
50s.
Ah. Yes, that's quite a bit off.
Yeah. I rolled to see if Tome. Remember I told you if Tome realized that Professor was a lot older, he'd be a lot more not normal
Uh-huh.
about finding out that the professor just expects to go his whole life meeting and leaving people for only a week, but he
Ooh.
still makes sure that he remembers them.
Uh-huh.
So we just got in that 20
Oh no!
on the first roll.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah, Tome connects some dots.
oh my goodness! Wow. Well, he.
Would you like a photo of that?
No, that's okay. Oh goodness.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So
Okay.
so he's put the dots together. He understands at least part of the problem.
Yeah, Wyatt, wear him down. Tome gets really quiet, and Professor, you don't need insight. You can tell that there's been a notable shift in his thought process, and he's frowning. Professor, how old are you?
Uh, it's a bit complicated, but approximately 703, more or less.
703. Okay.
More or less.
And I'm going to ask you one more question, okay?
Mm.
How many of those years have you been running? Okay.
Since
And
I
Tome's
was
just gonna.
86.
Oh, you go. Tome's just gonna quietly stand up. He's gonna walk over and he's gonna pull the professor and hug. And last time it was like a firm hug. It was a supportive hug. This time it's really gentle and it's soft.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna run it. You're not alone anymore, okay? Not anymore.
Yeah, he's just kind of quiet and hugs him back.
Not anymore. Tome's probably gonna do that quiet hug for a little bit before he pulls away and just looks at Professor with a small nod.
He's not quite sure how to react because he didn't think you were going to connect those dots. And most people don't.
Yeah.
You get the impression most people don't like think that far about it.
Yeah, Tome thought about it, and guess what, Professor? His first reaction wasn't to get mad at you. It wasn't to be upset. It was to hug you.
Yeah.
And to tell you that you aren't alone anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. This FPS has the range!
Boy, howdy. Sure, it sure does.
So yeah, Tome stands there quietly for a moment. And he looks at that and he notices that I obviously will not understand what you've gone through. I never will. I'll be lucky if I get past to be honest, another 20 years.
Mm.
But the thing is, uh, if you ever need someone to talk to, someone who doesn't mind beating up your pride a little, I guess, but sometimes part of not being alone is just being able to talk, okay? And that's a lot of years not being able to talk.
Mm.
And that's a lot of names to remember.
Yes, that it is. Thank you.
Of course, and Professor,
Mm.
thank you for stopping here. Thank you for joining our story.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Man!
I'm fine.
Man, the only like uh God, the only gesture Professor is giving me is like a sort of like bashful like kick the floor a little bit like
He should do that. He deserves to do that.
yeah. Uh mm, just sort of like, you know, skids his boot on the floor, does the sort of head dip.
I think you need to be told that more often. I think your compliments feed a little bit too much of your pride, and not much enough of your self-love, man. Because I'm gonna be honest, you have shit self-love that I've seen in this entire visit here, which is really impressive. Because I've seen the people in that house and emotions towards the exit, and I've seen a mirror like.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one, that's for sure. It's something a lot of us struggle with, but
Hmm. No, don't worry. Pride is one of my stepping stones, so
oh
I'm
yeah, you have plenty of that I've seen. It's quite impressive that you can have such a difference in pride and self-love there. Actually, I think it's a talent. Actually,
I think so too.
there's a laugh. I love the absolute just whiplash of moods with this.
I know it's bonkers. Oh,
You know, if you ever need someone to remind you that you're someone worth fighting for, or worth remembering, or worth staying on the planet for, or at least worth writing, go talk to those boys and just notice the way they smile at you. I think you'll learn to love yourself a lot just by seeing how much others love you.
yeah. He does a sort of like soft, genuine smile and nods.
Tome kind of nods back.
All right. What say we? How would you like to try an alien pastry before I send you on your way?
Oh, please do, actually. Especially if I can hold over Jubilee and say it's better than the place he's trying to sell me on. And
All
Tome
right.
kind of brightens up at that and walks a bit.
Yes.
And is that a good place to end it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, going on 3 hours. Remember,
Woo,
this wasn't gonna be a long.
Almost exactly 3 hours, so we're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Well, thank you to all who were here live. Thank you to all our
Yes!
future listeners.
Thank you. Thank you, Spec.
We'll figure out who's gonna. Yeah, thank you, Oatmeal. Gosh, this one got me.
Well,
This one got me.
dude,
Actually,
it got me too.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
hope you all have a wonderful time zone.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.